support. So I know that Legislative and Political Action Committee has been working on our new Tiger Day, and I know Senator Wise will be talking about that and how we'll be advocating our own personal interests to them. But then also Public Relations Director Hoosman and the other public relations directors of the other schools are working on a strategy of how we will continue these advocacy efforts throughout the session. Another neat thing is I've been in contact with the creator of an app called SafeTrack. And what this is if you have a smartphone, for those who don't, like me, this won't really apply to you, but those who do have a smartphone, you have the app, you pull it up, and then you take your thumb as you're walking home. Say you get home late at work, or you're walking back to the dorms after a long night, very late at night, and you have to walk by yourself. And the escort service told you it's going to be a longer wait time. This app would allow you to pull it up, place your thumb on the screen, and if your thumb gets taken off the screen at any point in time, you have 15 seconds to enter a passcode. Otherwise, it alerts the local authorities and campus police that there's an issue, and they'll be able to respond in a quick and efficient manner. I've been looking into this, and I know we have some funds available because of the safety and awareness fee that we have been reserving back. The app to download is $2, and then plus there's a maintenance fee every month. I've been working to negotiate with the developer to have it free to all FHSU students for one flat rate. So as I get more information on that and be able to continue those, I will be sure to let you know on how we're looking on that aspect. So I thought it was really neat, and I'd really love to hear some of your responses during open forum on whether this is a good thing that students would utilize, or do you think it'd be a waste of the student fee dollars. Other than that, that is my report. Thanks.
All right, up next we have Chief of Staff Campbell.
I also want to mention what a great job I thought everybody did at Higher Ed Day this week. I think the relentlessness was much appreciated. I know some of us got a little bit of pushback from some of the representatives that weren't quite appreciating what we had to say, but I think everybody did a really good job and stood your ground, and I know that we're going to be able to do that here in the future. Next week, I and a couple other members of SGA will not be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll be gone, so if anything comes up between now and then, we'll be there, but just wanted to let everybody know some of us won't be around. Have a good day.
Next up is myself. Okay. This week, as he mentioned, as President Roberts mentioned, we had Higher Ed Day. It was a great success. I want to thank every single senator that attended for your hard work. You guys did awesome out there. We were really well received, and everything went over extremely well. So the next step is the Tiger Day that's coming up. Senator Weiss will talk about this more as we get closer, but I'd like you all to sign up if you can and come, and it's going to be the same thing, except for we're advocating for just Fort Hays and what really matters to our university as a whole. So next up after that is Administrative Assistant Wary.
Okay, simple is 11, 2/3 is 14, and we have 20 attendees this evening. I will also not be in the office again tomorrow because I'm at Hayes Med again, but if you guys have any issues, leave a note on my desk or something and I'll get to it Monday.
The agenda's not being hole punched does not count as an issue. That was my fault. So last up, we have Public Relations Director Hussman.
Good evening, everyone. As my executive staff has already mentioned about Higher Ed Day, it went really well, and I worked with the other public relations director from the other schools, and we worked on and will continue to work on formulating a plan for the upcoming weeks. And I also took some really awesome pictures at Higher Ed Day that I will be getting up on Facebook and Twitter and our website very soon. What I've been working on for last week, and I finished it this week once I got back from higher ed, was the newsletter, and I brought about 5 of them up here, and I have seen that you have grabbed some, and if you guys are looking for more, there will be some down in the office and also online as well. And the 2 chairs for my committee are not here tonight, and so I will give the report. For the rules of rent, we met with the 310 leadership team last night, and we discussed the ongoing efforts of having a week-long campaign later this semester and where that direction is going. Thank you.
That will now move us into committee reports, and if I butcher any more of your names, I apologize. Appropriations, Senator Davis.
My committee did not meet this evening, but we have 4 bills up for second reading.
Senate Affairs, Senator Lawrence.
Our committee met tonight and we continued to work on Constitution amendments, and we also have the second reading of our new senator bill tonight.
Legislative and political action, Senator Weiss.
They're the ones who are laughing at you. Okay, so like Chris and Matt have mentioned, get your calendars out. If you want to go to Tiger Ed Day, it's going to be March 10th and 11th. Probably leave Monday night, come back Tuesday night, afternoon. Applications will hopefully be on the website within the next few days, and then we'll send out an email on Monday. If you think of students who want to go, you should be mentioning it to them. Tell them to come pick up an application, and then they will have to have those turned in. What did I say? The 26th? Yes. March 26th by 4 p.m., and then we'll decide on the 28th who's going, and we can take roughly 25 to 28 people.
That moves us into open forum. First up, we have House Bill from the Kansas House of Representatives, number 2453. To start, I'm going to read you the supplemental note on it. This came from the House Committee. House Bill 2453, as amended, would create a new law to prohibit an individual or religious entity from being required by any governmental entity to do anything with respect to activities identified in the bill, if contrary to an individual's or religious entity's sincerely held religious belief regarding sex or gender. Under the bill's provisions, the refusal of an individual or religious entity to engage in the listed activities could not result in a civil claim or cause of action under state or local law, or an action by a governmental entity to penalize, withhold benefits from, discriminate against, or otherwise disadvantage an individual or religious entity protected by the bill's provisions. So you guys all got the bill. It was over on the table. I know there's a lot there. You can skim it as we're going through this and talking about it. Now I'd like to invite GSA up to the mic to speak on behalf of it.
First off, please excuse my attire. I was asked to be here kind of quickly and didn't get the memo to change. As far as how, we as a group feel about this bill, I believe that I can speak for everyone in GSA when I say that we feel that this really takes us back a few steps. The United States has really taken grand leaps forward as far as equality across the board. And for Kansas to pass a bill such as this, it really hits home for a lot of us. And although we do not have equal marriage rights in the state, people who are married in other states can still be recognized here. But now that this law is being passed, it can really open the doors for widespread discrimination against gays and lesbians. And we feel that it would be a great service for everyone to come together and kind of oppose this bill.
Senator Morgan.
I agree with you completely, and my personal concerns with their bill is that I feel like it's indirectly promoting discrimination. And also, even though it's not directly related to higher education, it does affect all of us. It affects us, whether it's us, our peers, our faculty, whoever. So I was interested in knowing if GSA would be interested in, sponsoring with SGA and a promotion event so students from all over campus can voice out their opinions, write letters, and SGA can take take care of the logistics. We can take care of mailing the legislators and stuff with the students' concerns. If you guys would be willing to promote the event and basically just run it.
Again, I think I speak for all of GSA when I say we would love to partake in an event like that. We definitely want to get as many people as aware about what this bill means as possible. I've talked to quite a few people who didn't even know this bill had been brought up in the state legislature. So I know there are a lot of people who still don't know what this is or don't know how this could widespread affect campus even. It could definitely open the doors for professor-student discrimination, student-to-student discrimination, and I think we should really nip this as soon as possible. So I think GSA would definitely be wanting to be involved in something like this.
President Roberts.
I think this is a wonderful idea, and Morgan bringing this to our attention and suggesting this idea. There would be a timetable of when this would happen. It would have to happen very quickly, Monday or Tuesday of next week, preferably on Monday. I know that's a very short time to be able to do this, but just an overall day of support for the LGBT community within the university, I think would do dividends to raise awareness to the students of what is happening within the legislature regarding this. And like I said, like Senator Morgan said, we would handle all the logistics and stuff. And I know personally I would be there to help out all throughout the day, and I would encourage all of you to partake in this event and really spread the word to your constituents to get involved into this if they want to have their voices heard in opposition of this bill. Because as student leaders of the Student Government Association, that is our job, to be able to spread awareness of the things that are happening that will affect students no matter what capacity.
Is there any other discussion on the topic? Seeing none, those interested and willing to help out Monday or Tuesday of next week, please get in contact with Senator Morgan after the meeting. And please all read through the bill and understand it as well.
I would just also like to add that GSA, our group meetings are on Mondays at 5:30, and we invite all of you to come join us because we will probably have a rather large discussion about this bill on that day. So thank you very much.
Next up on the list is the internet connectivity issue we had. President Roberts.
So, on Friday morning, I got back into the office, checked my email, and I had a whole list of messages I was carbon copied in regarding the conversation that was spurred off our discussion. And number one, let me say, Senator Patel, I really appreciate you bringing this to attention, but it also does wonders and says so much of just when we bring up certain things in open forum, how much it affects and who all is paying attention. Basically, they double-checked into the CTC and going through that, and they raised one concern within this, and it's the fact that not enough students are going to the help desk to actually report the problems. So they can't track it as well. They can track the numbers from the server data, but those are showing no additional kickoffs than what there has been previously. And like I said before last week, they are making improvements and moving forward. But what would really help is if you can encourage the students to report those problems to the help desk. So that way there's a paper trail of those and not just the analytical data that they receive in CTC. So once again, I just wanted to commend you for bringing that up and let you know the progress up to date a week later.
Is there any other discussion on the topic? Senator Patel.
And I've been in contact with Derek Johnson, who is like the coordinator. And just in the last few days, he was able to, at least in Custer Hall, he was able to come up with a tweak that has improved the network a lot. I have talked to quite a few other students, and most of them have not had any problems since. So I'm pretty happy that it was able to be solved so quickly, at least in Custer. I haven't had many issues out around campus either, so I'm not sure if it's totally solved, but it's gotten a lot better.
Final thoughts? Seeing none, that'll move us into new business. Sorry.
Is there any more open?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any more items for open forum this evening? Yes, Senator Getz.
You could clarify the dates on the Tiger Ed Day for the application and the day it actually is? Because I think you said both of them are in March, like March 10th and 11th, and March 26th was the application deadline.
Wrong. Okay, February 26th at 4 p.m. is when the applications are due. And then March 10th and 11th are the actual days. The 11th is the actual day, but we're leaving on the 10th. Sorry.
Are there any other items for open forum? Yes, Senator Gress.
Yesterday, me and President Roberts attended the Board of Regents meeting, and something I kind of learned there was about the China partnership that Fort Hays has, and I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about it. Fort Hays just partners with China, just the one country. We don't do multiple, like, other countries like many other schools do. And the reason we partner with China is because Kansas has many connections and that China needs. So they come to Kansas to kind of get all those connections, including like grain, clean water, things like that that they need that we can give them. FHSU is one of the largest providers of higher ed undergrad education in China that isn't Chinese, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And then we have 2 active partnerships, one with CEOS and then one with SNU in China. And then on Saturdays, President Roberts brought this to me, I learned that they have a class to educate students on their culture, and they have some fun activities they do. So maybe some Saturday all of us can go, or some of us can go to that meeting and kind of see what it's all about and kind of learn more about it all.
President Roberts.
Well, I think that would be a great idea to be able to reach out to the international students on campus, be able to learn their cultures and experience their hardships that they have adapting to our culture here in America, and just be able to let them know that they have support group within all of us, and moving forward and really begin to build that relationship with them and make them feel welcome here on campus. So I think that's a wonderful idea to attend a class on one of those Saturdays. I do want to make one correction though. We have multiple partnerships besides China. It all started within the China program, and that was the main focus of the board presentation that was given. But there are other partnerships that we've been able to expand out through, besides just the China one, just to clarify on that one.
With no further comments, are there any other items for open forum? President Roberts.
Okay. Like I said about the Safe Trek app, and working out on the logistics of those things. Just want to hear from you guys real quick. Do you believe students would utilize this on campus, and is this worth to continue pursuing?
Senator Hand.
Personally, I think it would be a utilized app. If you look at the Women's Leadership Project, and I'm kind of going off of Holly, sorry, but they have the Circle of Six app, which I know many people actually use that app here on campus. Personally, I have it on my phone. It's a great app to have, and I think that if marketed well, it would be able to be spread across campus very quickly, and people would be willing to use it just because of the current issues that we may or may not have on campus. So.
Any other comments on the matter? President Roberts.
And there is one other reason why I bring this up too is in deciding how to use these funds, when I present to you guys of how we will utilize these. Access Transportation has requested an additional $12,000 to be used to maintain the buses and fix them for the use. I wasn't able to attend the last meeting. I know Chief of Staff Campbell was. I'm very uncomfortable at this moment allocating all $12,000 of that fund to them for many reasons. Number one, the excess funds that are from the carryover, they've been averaging around $35,000. And that's just to maintain the extra operating expenses for that next year if something terribly were to go wrong, if the allocated fee that we give them were to go away. However, I do not see you guys or myself attempting to take away that fee for Safe Ride, as it is a valuable asset to the students and to the community. So I believe that fee is safely intact in the way it is. So what I would be suggesting is they take out that reserve fund if they need additional funds to maintain those buses, rather than use our safety and awareness fee dollars. But if anyone has concerns about that or any questions why I'm taking that route, I'm open.
Senator Davis.
One thing I'd like to have is, this app sounds really good and sounds really useful, but one thing I'd like to know is how well does it work? I mean, sometimes apps have glitches, stuff, calls the wrong police station. I'd like to know how well it works, how it's stated, and then also, depending on how much would it cost for Fort Hays to get it free for all students. I mean, sometimes they might ask ridiculous amounts.
Directed to President Roberts.
It currently has a 5-star rating on the iTunes, because you're not supposed to purchase it at iTunes, has a 5-star rating. I went through some of the process and stuff, and they've really began spreading out, but it works very, very well. There's been very few complaints through there, and the complaints that were given were right at the beginning, because I made sure to really check into that. And it was started at Florida State and University of Florida, and kind of spread on some other universities, and it's just so well received, and it's so simple of how the functioning works. The second thing is, as far as the pricing, for what I'm negotiating right now, it would be anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000, depending on, number one, if we let virtual students utilize this app, and then just the base flat line fee of how we move forward.
Senator Hand. All right, recalled. Senator Davis.
Can that be just a one-time, or is
There
that?
would be a continuous every year re-up, because we'd have multiple students. Let's say, students would graduate, new students would come in, and it'd help maintain that pretty much almost like a re-up contract every year, where the Senate would decide whether or not to re-up the contract or not. And if so, then we'll just keep maintaining all the funds that are already generated out of the safety and awareness fee.
Senator Morgan.
Do you have any ideas on how you will market it? Like, are you going to mention it at freshman orientation or send out emails?
All of the above.
Senator Getz.
Going back to Safe Ride and the 35,000 carryover that they continually have, shouldn't that run kind of on a accrual basis? We pay the funds to, or the student fee dollars, so shouldn't we be getting the benefit from that in like the current year, where they shouldn't have like a continuous large carryover in case the fund goes away?
I see what you're saying, and believe me, I've stated this argument to that, but there are two issues that face through there. Even though we're providing half of the funds for the total allocation of how this operation works, I'm one person on a committee of 12. And I'm trying to think how the best way to say this. What it really comes down to is, there should be some sort of buffer in case, everyone finally, because part of the funds, about a quarter, come from the DUI funds within the city and within the county. So if for 1 year no one got a DUI, then we'd have to be able to account for that quarter of the budget that's being utilized. However, that doesn't come anywhere near the $35,000. Do I think it is much too high? Yes. It's right about the same amount of money that we're giving as is now. But however, is a working relationship that we have, and what I would really like to see those funds being used is, number one, if they need the funds to maintain the buses, it come out of that, number one. And number two, more promotion of Safe Ride in the community and on campus, because all the posters we see around still have the old dates on them from before we created the fee to give them an even more stable funding source and to add an extra day of service, because I don't think many students realize that Safe Ride runs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think a lot of them think it still runs Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and at a very limited time. We've expanded that out through to make sure there is always a bus available for students. But not a lot of students know, because last year it was decided that no funds would go towards promotion. And to that extent, I disagree with, and I believe we'll continue working to begin creating some more promotion amongst the community and amongst the campus.
Senator Hand.
Is there any way we could use the campus safety fund that you're referring to pay for the app, and then what we have left over that we're wanting to use, give to the access bus, and then they can come up with the rest of the funds?
How you could do this, you could provide additional funds, but here's the thing: we should, let's say it comes out to be $6,000. Well, the 25 cents of the 35 cents that goes towards safety and awareness fee go towards Safe Ride already. So we only get 10 cents that gets put into a side fund for these type of projects like the Safe Trek app and stuff. So we should hold out some money in there in case credit hours go down within students to help cover like that next step. Just leave a tiny buffer because it's $6,000. Right now we're sitting at about 16-ish within the account, but that's been generated over 3 years without use. So, we can't. It'd be my recommendation that we not spend the money too quickly into something, especially if it becomes something that's a continual basis.
Senator Wilson.
If we put money into this app, do we get any proceeds from the selling of the app or each monthly payment? Or do we see any money coming back from the investment of it that we could put back into the fund and maybe potentially pay for Safe Ride?
If we were to set the base fee so that way all students are covered, it would just be that base fee. They would handle all maintenance, any additional problems, the creating the system and implementing that within the local police department and within the University Police to help be able to track those different things. So that's what it'd be paying for, and that's why it's $2 for the app itself. However, because there's nothing like that around within the city, it's going to take a little bit of additional money to have some sort of system that would be able to track all those different things that happen within the community, and if something were to go wrong, to be able to alert them adequately and efficiently.
Senator Hand.
Would we be able to continually fund this app every year that we needed to purchase it?
Yes and no. Number one, it's all based on the credit hours. From our projections, if we get it correct, correlated correctly, it would be self-sustaining. However, we would not be able to use those funds for any other type of innovative safety project on campus or anything. So that would be the sacrifice we'd make unless we increase that fee, but I don't believe that would be necessary. We could run it for a couple years and then increase the fee and still have money left over to do innovative funds as a Senate this year and next year besides the Safe Trek. But really it comes down to your guys' decision on how you'd want to move forward. If you want to save that money to be able to cover the expenses throughout a long period of time, or use money in short amount of spurts and then require an increase in student fees later on down the road.
Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, are there any more items for open forum? Seeing none, that will move us into new business for this evening. I don't have any on the agenda, but is there any available? Also seeing none, that will move us into old business, starting with Bill 14S 100 from the Appropriations Committee, dealing with the Sociology Club. Do I have a motion to consider this bill? Senator Getz, seconded by Senator Davis. Is there open for discussion? Senator Getz.
Member of Sociology Club to come to the student mic and tell us a little bit about your request.
Hello, I'm Marlo, and I am president of the Sociology Club. We will be traveling to Omaha, Nebraska to attend the Midwest Sociological Society Conference in April, at the beginning of April the 2nd. We are asking for appropriations to purchase hotel rooms for the trip.
Are there any questions? Is there any further discussion? Senator Getz.
Correct vote.
Is there any objections? You've heard the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bill passes. Next up, we have Bill 14S 101 from the Appropriations Committee dealing with the Pre-Dental Club. Do I have a motion to consider this bill? Senator Getz, seconded by Senator Rogers. We are now in discussion of Bill 14S 101. Senator Getz.
We have a member of Pre-Dental Club come to the student mic and explain all of the requests that they have.
Hi, my name is Lee Reynolds. I'm the president of the Pre-Dental Club. Thank you for having me tonight, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Senator Getz.
Can you just go through and explain a little bit about what you're requesting in all three requests?
All three requests. The first one would be for Give Kids a Smile, and actually, as I've explained to Senator Davis, we are withdrawing that request. The event took place this last Friday and was canceled due to inclement weather in Kansas City, so they weren't able to get the kids down to the dental school to do the free dental work there because school was canceled for too many of the area schools. However, our second trip request is for the Kansas Mission of Mercy, and basically this is a 2-day event where about $1 million of free dentistry is usually provided to over 500 patients. We see a lot of people, and we usually work 13-hour days, and this is a wonderful opportunity for any person on campus interested in pursuing a career in dentistry. You can work in many different areas. You can dental assist, you can work in sterilization, and so on. And we are requesting meals and gas for this trip. Oh, and also, sorry, the equipment request. The equipment request, we are asking for 2 different components. The first one is for dental admission test study guides to be kept on campus in the chemistry department. Right now, there are several DAT materials that are housed there, but this is a more comprehensive material that is not currently held there. And in addition to this, we are also asking for materials to start a local preventative oral health care program at elementary schools. We're looking to do all the elementary schools here in Hayes, also in Victoria, Ellis, and Waukene. And basically what we're trying to accomplish here is teaching the kids how to properly care for their teeth, and also to teach them why dental offices aren't scary and that sort of thing. And we are also currently in the process of applying for grants for toothbrush kits. So I've already received feedback from many of the elementary schools, still waiting to hear back on a couple of them, but they're very interested in doing this program. And once again, any Fort Hays State student interested in volunteering for this is welcome too.
Are there any other questions? Senator Getz.
For a direct vote on Bill 101, which is a trip that they are still taking.
All right, you've heard the motion. Are there any objections? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Bill passes. That'll move us on to 14S 102. You've heard the discussion about it. Senator Getz.
Move to fail this bill. This is a trip that they are no longer taking.
Heard the motion. All those in favor of failing the bill, please say aye. Opposed? Bill's failed. That moves us on to Bill 14S-103, still pre-dental club. Do you have a motion to consider this bill? Senator Getz. Any objections? You've heard the motion. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Bill passes.
All right, thank you so much.
And lastly, that will move us on to Bill 14S-104, new senator from Senate Affairs. Do I have a motion to consider this bill? Senator Getz. All right. Is there a second? Senator Morgan. Sorry. We're now in discussion of the bill. Senator Getz.
Can we have Mr. Cooper come to the student mic and give us the name, the class that you're in, and a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I know a few of you guys in here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Cooper. I am a senior. I'm a political science student. Honestly, I'm just looking for another opportunity to get involved. In the past, other opportunities, other organizations that I was involved in took up too much of my time, and I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to be an effective member. Events have conspired, so now I have that free time to try to pursue this interest. I've always wanted to be a part of the Student Government Association. I just haven't had the opportunity till now.
Any other discussion? Senator Getz.
A unanimous consent.
Is there any objections? Bill passes. There any other? Oh, okay. Our administrative assistant has made you a binder downstairs in the office. You're welcome to pick that up after the meeting. Are there any other items for old business this evening? Seeing none, that'll move us into announcements. Again, seeing none, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. Senator Getz, seconded by Senator DeVore.